Michelle Joy Phelps with Behind the Gloves, proudly sponsored by BUSR, and I'm joined now with Caleb Plant. Caleb, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's a little different doing it with our own mics this time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little different. But
I'm probably going to at some times reach over, just naturally.
Okay.
But it's good to see you. How are things at the moment?
Things are good. You know, it's getting warm in Vegas, and been in the gym, been working, been training, so everything's going smooth.
So the last time you and I spoke, I mentioned Canelo, but we couldn't talk about Canelo because you had a fight ahead of you, and Canelo had the fight with Billy Joe ahead of him. But here we are. We know that his goal is to become undisputed. Your goal is to become undisputed, and there's only one belt left there. So we know that he's going to be aiming for you and solely you because he's made it clear that he does not want to fight anyone else other than you. Have you sort of had any internal discussions within the team yet?
I think real soon, you know, our teams are going to sit down and try to see, you know, if we can get it worked out. Like you said, he's looking to become undisputed, but that's too bad because I'm looking to become undisputed. And like I've said in other interviews, there's only one way for that to happen, and that's for us to get in there and duke it out.
I mean, look, it appears to be the next step. It appears that that's going to be the fight that's coming up next. So tell me a bit about, like, has Canelo at all tried to reach out so far to your team? Has there been any sort of discussions at all?
You know, I'm sure everyone knows that that's the next step. So I'm sure that at some point someone's reached out to somebody. But as far as, you know, sitting down and trying to get it figured out, I think that our teams here real soon on both sides are going to sit down, like I said, and see if we can get it worked out. Because, you know, it's not only what he wants or what I want, but it's what the rest of the boxing world wants as well. And, you know, we're looking to deliver that. So.
And September is obviously the date that he's looking for. You're more than ready to be in the ring with him in September.
I oblige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Canelo obviously just had a fight with Billy Joe Saunders. I just sort of want to talk a bit about that for just a moment. Bit controversial ending to that fight. Some people felt that Billy Joe, I guess, could have continued. Others felt that he did what was necessary. His corner did what was necessary. Yeah. Had that been you and that been an injury you occurred, would you also support your corner saying, we got to stop the fight?
No, I wouldn't support it. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, all these people who call him a quitter, they probably never even laced up a pair of boxing gloves. So, you know, it's like, what would you do in a street fight? Well, you don't know until you get in a street fight. So, you know, I've battled through injuries before during fights, but I've never had my orbital bone broke. So for me to call him a quitter, you know, I'm not going to sit here and call him a quitter. Did he have to quit? He had to. But, you know, his corner felt like that it was in his best interest that they pull the plug. You know, I heard that he said he didn't want to, but, you know, they made the final decision for him. And, you know, I think maybe most of the flack is coming from, I think he kind of got on somebody else for having to stop because of a broken orbital bone. Daniel Dubois. Yeah. And so I think people are just kind of reminding him of that incident because it's just ironic that, you know, for him to say that and now he's in that position. So, but as far as calling him a quitter, I wouldn't say that.
But it's interesting though, right? Because no one really knows unless they're in that position what they would want their corner to do or what they would want to do.
Exactly. You know, I know what it's like to have, you know, injured hands. You know, when I won the world title against Uzgategi, you know, we bumped heads in the fourth round, and it caused a pretty bad cut over my eye. And, you know, I never even thought about quitting. You know, when the camera came in between the rounds and looked at me, I was winking at the camera. So, but then again, that's not a broken orbital bone, so it's hard to, you know, I never felt that pain. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people who call him a quitter, they've never felt that either. So, but I think they're just kind of giving him shit for, you know, his past statements.
What did you make of the fight just in general, like while watching?
You know, I gave Billy the first round. Canelo wasn't really doing a whole lot. So just off activity, I gave Billy the first round. But I had it 5-3, you know. And
that's what I had.
Yeah. And that's one round away from being a draw, so or, you know, from being tied up. Yeah. So, you know, I really felt like in the latter rounds, Billy started settling in. And more so dictating the pace and what was going on. So, but he ran into a shot. And, you know, people don't say, oh, I'm going to break his orbital bone with this punch. It was just the right punch at the right time in the right place, and, you know, that was all she wrote. So, but I felt like he started settling in and, you know, starting to do his thing towards the end.
When the fight was over and now everyone's posting photos of you and him on social media, the initial reaction is there's no way that you're beating Canelo Alvarez. What do you have to make to people who are completely writing you off?
That I don't really care about that. I don't listen to the people who, you know, I don't even listen too often to the people who compliment me, you know, because it's not about compliments and it's not about the people who have negative things to say either. If I get caught up in all the compliments, that means that the negative stuff probably bothers me too. So, you know, all I care about is what's in my head and what I think and what I believe and what my team around me believes. And, you know, I'm not the same fighter that Billy Joe is. And I'm pretty sure I even heard him in an interview with you. It might have been him saying stuff like, you know, a lot of people say that if I don't have a fight coming up, I don't really train or I don't do what I'm supposed to, but I'm here now. But you would never hear me say that because that's not how I live my life and that's not how I treat boxing. And that's no knock on him. That's just how he prefers to do things. But I prefer to do things different. And, you know, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a disciplined fighter year-round. They know that I train year-round. I keep my weight in check year-round. And other than that,
yeah, because that was always something that Billy Joe was criticized over, was not sort of maintaining his weight even when he's not fighting.
Yeah, and stuff that he would kind of even admit to. And but again, no knock on him. That's how he likes to do things. But I think people, when they look at me, I think they see something different than that. And not only that, but I'm taller than him. I'm longer than him. I'm bigger than him. I'm more athletic than him. And you know, I just feel like that I have all the tools necessary to get to beat Canelo. And in the Uzcategui fight, when I was coming up, what he did to Andre Durrell, people said, well, Andre Durrell's way slicker than Caleb, so if he did that to him, imagine what he's going to do to Caleb. And it's like people are saying the same thing now as well. And just how they were surprised in that fight, they'll be surprised in this one.
Before we move on, just out of curiosity, when Billy Joe did move up to 168, a lot of people felt like he was really smaller in comparison to the rest of you guys. Do you feel that he probably would have been best staying at 160?
I don't know. You know, I don't know the details of his situation. You know, if maybe getting a little bit bigger between fights made it just too hard, or if he felt more comfortable. You know, I don't know the details. You know, that's for him and his team to figure out. But you know, all I can speak on is what I'm able to do. So.
Now, I know there's been a lot of animosity between you and David Benavidez. I know recently he made a few comments. I'm sure you've heard them. You didn't? Okay. No. Well, he called you a pussy. Okay. And he also said that Canelo knocks you out, and if it's not going to be Canelo that knocks you out, it's going to be him. Okay.
Well, him and his team said Uzcategui was knocking me out. So, and that didn't even come close. So, you know, he can call me a pussy, but I'm not pussy enough, and I am man enough to do whatever it is I got to do to keep my belt. You know, I'm not so much of a pussy that I'm out here doing cocaine. I'm not so pussy that even in the bubble where it was harder to make weight, I didn't make excuses. You know, I was man enough to make weight. And in this fight, when he did make weight, he was blaming the bubble, but everybody else on the card made weight. So, you know, he can say that I'm, you know, pussy or not man enough to do this and that, but I'm man enough to hold up our end of the bargain. And when we was trying to make a fight with him, his promoter Samson was saying that it wasn't time yet and they wanted to wait. And he even did a video with Fred. You know, Fred. He even did a video with Fred I put on my Instagram. Him and his team saying that they don't want to take the fight right now. There needs to be more money involved. We need to wait. And you know, that was when me and my side was trying to make the fight happen. And now he loses his belt, and then all of a sudden it's I don't want to fight him, and you know, things of that nature. I'm focused on something bigger and better than him, something that, you know, I'm trying to get 4 belts. He can't even hang on to 1 belt. So
he says that he feels like he's deserving of the Canelo fight next.
like right now?
Like, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's lost it. You know, he's been a world champion twice now. When they announce him as 2-time world champion, and he's lost it both times. So I'm sure if he had it, he probably would be in this position. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of that stems from him being not even angry at me or anyone else, but probably angry at himself, you know, and mad at himself. And I'm sure his father is too, you know, because I'm sure they put a lot of work in. And so, you know, for him to just spit in his father's face and spit in the face of all their hard work and everything they've had to overcome, and to be missing out on these bigger opportunities, you know, there's nobody worse to get beat than get beat by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Canelo showed a different side to him post-fight. I'm not sure if you saw the video of him and Demetrius Andrade sort of exchanging words. We haven't quite seen Canelo do too much, you know, English speaking, but he sure knew the curse words quite well. It was a different side to him. What do you make of him sort of expressing himself a little bit more these days?
I mean, again, if that's what he feels, you know, if that's what he likes and that's what he wants to do, you know, that's cool for him. I haven't really put much thought or effort into thinking about that. But, you know, I did see the words exchanged between, him and Boo Boo, and, you know, it is what it is.
It's kind of good, though, that Boo Boo did that, right? I mean, it's nice to sort of get the engagement going for down the line should they ever fight next year or so forth.
Well, they won't be fighting for no belts next year.
Ooh.
So, you know, but whatever he feels like he needs to do to get a fight or make a fight happen, you know, that's what he should do. Whatever he feels like he needs to do, you know, I encourage everybody, make sure you do that. But as far as them fighting for belts next year, you know, that's not going to be possible. So.
All right. Well, lastly, there was so much going on in terms of the size of the ring with Canelo and Billy Joe. What size of the ring are you comfortable going in at fighting Canelo?
I mean, as long as it's just a fair size ring, I don't have anything that I just have to have. You know what I'm saying? If it's a fair size ring.
So you're fine with 18 if he said 18?
I mean, I don't know. Again, I'll let my team handle that. But as long, I haven't even really thought about that too much, to be honest. But you know, whatever's a fair ring, whatever you know, me and my team and their team can agree upon. I'm sure at the end of the day, you know, that's not going to be the determining factor of who gets their hand raised. So, you know, if that's because you didn't win a fight, you know, you probably weren't going to win that fight anyway. So, as long as it's a fair size and you know, it's an even playing field for both of us, whether it comes to drug testing, whether it comes to the ring or whatever it may be, as long as it's an even playing field, you know, I have no concerns or, you know, I'm not bitching about nothing. So.
And should you become undisputed?
When I become undisputed.
I know, but I have to be a bit subjective.
There
Should you become undisputed, is the goal to stay and defend the titles at 168, or would you want to or consider moving up?
No. I'll be right here for a while.
Okay.
I'll be right here. You know, I'm gonna be here for a while. I'll make weight easy. Again, I train year round. People know how I live my life. So, you know, I'll be here for these super middleweights and any of these middleweights that I hear that are coming up soon. I'll be right here waiting on them as well. So. Okay.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited because I know that this is going to be the next fight. I'm confident it's the next fight. I'm sure you guys are confident as well. Any final words? Do you want to say anything at all to Canelo Alvarez?
See you soon, my friend.
See you soon. All right, thank you so much. Bye, Fight fans.